We're back with another one of our most requested videos. It's a part of our cost of living series. If you've ever thought about moving from New York City to Denver, Colorado,
or if you've ever considered moving from Denver, Colorado to New York City,
you will without a doubt want to watch this, where we cover the cost of living in Denver versus the Big Apple.
It's no surprise that it's cheaper to live in Denver, Colorado than New York City. But does that outweigh the draw of the bright lights of the city that never sleeps?
And oh, by the way, we love it when you comment, so drop in your thoughts in the comments below about what you think about the cost of living in Denver, Colorado versus New York City. Which do you think is better?
Stay with us until the end and you'll get a fun little bonus point on the most expensive property on the market in New York City.
But first, we'd like to introduce our New York City real estate connection, John Harrison, who will share about the cost of living in New York City.
Thanks, Zach. John Harrison here with the Harrison Grandelli team of CORE in New York City. My partner and I have a team of 5 agents, and we are thrilled to be right in the middle of both the new development world and watching what's happening in the resale world of our market. Thrilled to be here, but I also love Colorado, so I'm excited to learn more about some of the current market conditions in your town.
We are really fortunate to have John join us today. Not that we need much introduction, but I'm Kathy, and here in Denver, we have over 50 plus years of a combined experience, and we've sold over 900 homes.
I've grown up in the city and know it inside and out. We are authorities on all things Denver and Denver real estate. Let's move on with the show. We should kick things off with the median home price in Denver. Right now, we're still sitting at about $545,000. That is well over $500,000.
That calculates to $343 per square foot, and this number keeps climbing.
Well, how about this? Right now in New York City, the median price per square foot for a condo in Manhattan is just under $1,500 per foot. If we look at the averages in condos just in Manhattan, in 2021, we were right at about $1,500 per square foot. The median prices right now are right around 1.2 or so million, but the average condos only in Manhattan for 2021 were just at about 1.8 million. We have a really big range of prices from smaller units to bigger units. We have the resale world and we have new development. So depending on what market you're searching in, that can vary. Prices per square foot can certainly go into the 2,000 plus range, especially when you're looking at new development. I'm selling some new development product right now where we're selling for more than $4,000 per foot. You can pay more than that, but there's a pretty big range. It's definitely a little bit more expensive than the numbers that you gave.
It's always interesting to think about what does $1 million buy in each of these places. Well, here in Denver, it's definitely not as much as it used to be. It's typical now to find a 3-bedroom, perhaps 2 to 3 bathroom home.
4 or 5 years ago here, $1 million could have fetched you a 4 to 5 bedroom home with a 2 to 3 car garage and a beautiful backyard. But those days, they seem so long ago now, don't they?
Did you know the number of homes that sold for at least $1 million quadrupled, jumping 310% since 2016? Yikes.
So for around $1 million in New York City right now, I would say in looking at condos, you'd probably get a 1-bedroom condo. And to maintain that condo, the taxes aren't necessarily as high on a percentage of the value, but we use a combination of real estate taxes plus what we call common charges, or you may call them HOA, homeowner association fees. In the condo world, it's common charges, and co-ops, we call it maintenance. But that total carrying cost of real estate taxes plus, we'll say common charges, can easily range from like $1.50 or so on the lower end to $3.50, $4. I mean, you can certainly pay more than that per square foot per month. So if you have an 800 square foot 1-bedroom condominium, then we're looking at $1,600 per month. Could be a good generalization on that carrying cost average.
If renting an apartment is what you're considering, the median rent for a 2-bedroom apartment is about $1,840 per month in Denver.
Okay, so for $1,800 a month, You would be lucky if you got a studio. When my wife and I first moved here, maybe 17, 18 years ago, I think our very first studio was around $1,800 a month. But realistically, a one-bedroom condo is typically going to rent in Manhattan for around $3,000 a month. If you're looking for a two-bedroom, you're probably going to be spending closer to $4,000. It is possible to get something that's less expensive than that, but you really have to look at the level of service of the building you're going into. Are you looking at a doorman building with an elevator? Are you looking for laundry? Do you want a gym in your building? Or are you happy to do a keyed door, walk up, no elevator, typical New York City fire escape out the window, no frills kind of building? The level of service you're looking for, the size, and of course the neighborhood have a lot to do with how much you're going to pay on a monthly basis.
If you own that house you're living in, what are you paying in property taxes on average? Here in Denver, for that $545,000 median price home, you'll pay about $3,000 per year.
Yep, I'm always reminded of what a friend told me one time, that there's a really big difference between free beer and free puppies. Free beer you get all at once, free puppies, there's an ongoing cost and contribution. I know this because my family just got a puppy. But in New York City, once you get over the price tag, of course you have real estate taxes. I mentioned this earlier, but the real estate taxes here aren't typically looked at in the same way as they are elsewhere, where it's like 2% of the value of the home. We really look at our taxes and our general carrying costs. We think of that in terms of $1 per square foot. So just as an example, let's take a 2,000 square foot, 3-bedroom home you are paying $2.50 per month on. Not necessarily a new development, but something that has maybe a doorman and an elevator. You're looking at around $60,000 a year, including both your real estate taxes and your common charges. The cost for something like that, if we were just using sort of the median or average price per square foot, would be around $1,500 per square foot. You're looking at a $3 million purchase. So $3 million, spending $60,000 a year. The overall cost might be similar, but it's broken down differently because it's a combination of both the real estate taxes and your common charges, or whatever it costs to keep the building staff, the hallways, the lights, the elevator, the roof, and all of that other stuff running that you typically would have to cover yourself if you owned the entire building, rather than a condominium inside of a complex.
So what's the appeal of the Big Apple, considering the cost of living is so much higher than Denver?
I'd say that answer is pretty simple. But let's have our resident New Yorker tell us why.
Okay, yes, it costs more to live in New York City than most of the United States. But I think New York is a different place. This is an exciting place to be, not that Colorado isn't, but this is a place where you go not just because you're trying to get the most square footage for the dollar. This is a magical place. I mean, we are filled with culture and arts and entertainment and shopping and creativity. We're close to everything. So, living here this weekend, in fact, my family and I were going to go skiing in Pennsylvania. We could just as easily or even more quickly get to the beach if I wanted to go surfing in warmer season. But we are just in this melting pot of culture. And I think one of the other attributes to the higher cost of living is that there are probably more jobs here that potentially pay more. It doesn't mean that everybody here is making so much more money, because if you were to look at the averages, it'd show that isn't the case. But we also have, a high percentage of people that have a very wide range of both income and expense, as well as various tax brackets. So I think the reason why New York is so expensive is that it is a small island. We're like a 14-mile island by a mile and a half, roughly, and that it is a finite space. We're not building any more of Manhattan other than building up. And there's so much going on here that it's a supply and demand. So that's why it costs more, but I think that it's possible to potentially earn more to help offset some of those costs.
It's not like we don't have it great here in Denver. We have a lot of art and culture. And with our theater scene, a vibrant live music scene, amazing outdoor activities around the city, and in our Colorado mountains.
So now to one of the bonus points. Today, the highest listing price on the market right now is $169 million. We've certainly seen higher prices in the past, but that's what's on the market right now, which is great if you need a 6-bedroom, 7+ bath condo that's close to 9,000 square feet. A lot of houses throughout suburbia across America are nowhere near 9,000 square feet. But the thing is, you don't have to spend $170 million to find luxury. One of my most recent closings at the new development that I'm working on, Rose Hill, was $20 million. And it was just under 5,000 square feet. It was extraordinary. The size, the view, the finishes. $20 million, I know, is still quite a bit for many budgets, but the range that you can get in the luxury level is still very, very vast.
And truth be told, Denver and New York City are both extremely desirable, with so many different lifestyles available in each city.
So, whether you're considering a move from Denver to New York City,
or from New York City to Denver, we can help make your dreams come true.
if you're in the market right now, let's talk about how we can help you find off-market or hard-to-find properties.
Now, is it going to be Denver or New York City? Now this is a hard decision.